it's not too confusing because we're both David. Today I'm going to be Dave and he's going to be David. Perhaps you could read for us on how we can maintain a positive vibe. It's a super stressful time. I don't know about you guys, but I am just like, keep waiting to get to the end and it's not here yet.
Amen.
Yes.
And the hard part was you think that, when Biden got elected, we were going to be able to celebrate and cast these chains off. And it's just like, finally, we're done dancing in the street as Linda G saw it. And the first thing Trump started doing was it was a rigged election. And it's like, we didn't even get a day to celebrate a victory.
Not even
And
5 minutes.
like that this November too. He's going to do the same darn thing.
Yeah.
But okay, take a look. What can we do to help with empathy and deal with these stressful times that we've got going on here? Deck is upside down. Page of Cups. Okay. Part the thing with the Page of Cups, this guy's got a fish in his cup and a cat hat on, and my cat just stalked in here and stalked out. Nico does tend to jump on the table on occasion to be the center of attention here. Life is a show. It's silly. You're challenged with these really weird situations here. So in some ways, empathy, how to get through this with empathy is don't take it so seriously. Now, that seems like such a contradiction, being that we're, the political climate that we're in, the whole world seems to be shifting to the right. And literally, it seems like a third of the people have gone just absolutely crazy bonkers with QAnon stuff. But it's maintaining your sense of humor and your ability to look at situations as absurd. Because if you can look at something as absurd, then you can start laughing at it. If you can laugh at it, it removes the threat, because instead of being a scary threat, it's now comical.
Yeah.
Kind of like, ridiculous from Harry Potter, when Ron's giant spider all of a sudden has skates on its feet and it can't walk. Its feet's going all over the place, and it helps him overcome, at least in that case, his fear of spiders. So it's able to look at life and looking at it as it's a ridiculous farce, and to be able to laugh at it. Don't take it so seriously. And the other crossed with, and I hate this, by the way, we chose to come down here at this time. We are not victims. God, if we want to be victims. It's one, and if you think about it, it's one of the things we kind of mock white men with silver hair in the United States who are Catholic or Christian, because they want to be oppressed so bad, just a crumb of oppression, and we're not. We came down here for a reason. We came down here for lessons. We came down here to help. We may regret that decision, but apparently we made that decision. So understand, you're not a victim. You can leave whenever you want, so to speak, but enjoy your time here. Don't take it so seriously. Laugh at the ridiculousness of it underneath it, because life just is going to keep coming at you. It's going to keep coming at you whether you like it or not. So if you can laugh at it, if you're not a victim, if you're a participant in it, it's going to help you navigate through this. Yeah, and in the past, you got the Chariot. Life just grinds on. It's been grinding on since you were a little kid, and it's going to grind on through your life, and it's going to grind on once you're gone. You're dead and gone on this one. But enjoy that time while you've got it. This is your one chance at it. The current situation is the Hermit. You go looking for your truth. Go looking for the things that you value. It's your life. It's your path. Walk your life. Walk your path. You've got the light. You've got the walking stick. You're in charge. They talk about you manifesting and you creating the life in front of you. Laugh a lot. Don't be a victim, because if you think you're a victim, your life's going to keep putting things in front of you that reinforce the victimhood. Much better to laugh at things that are coming on there.
Great.
Your one key in the cog, or in the giant wall that is life. So you got the Hierophant, which is the overarching energy. It's the big picture. We only see life through a porthole. the littlest porthole. And I grump that, I disagree with how spirit does things, and I'd like to be in charge because things would be very different. But I also realize that I see life through a very myopic little hole. I don't see the big picture. And just because Grumpy David over here doesn't like how life is going doesn't mean that David's ideas are great ideas. They seem like great ideas to me, but I don't have a big picture perspective. I've got a little picture perspective. So while my great ideas might help that little picture, they may not help the general tapestry that we're dealing with here. And the lesson to be learned is the Five of Swords. Your life is about you, but it's not all about you. The Five of Swords is like narcissism and winning at all costs. Life is supposed to be fun. But it's also supposed to be in servitude of others. Sharing is caring type of thing. As you know, when you're a little kid, Christmas or your birthday is all about you, and you want all the presents and you want everything. And it's easy to get jealous of other people if they've got stuff that's better than your stuff. As you get older, it shifts. At least for me, it shifted. I hope for most everybody it shifted, where it's not so much what you get that's important, it's what you can give and the appreciation that comes from that. And if you can, if you can give, if you can be of service to people to help them, lift them up, they're able to spread that out, the ripple effect. They can help somebody else out. And then that good feeling, those good vibes, that good juju goes out to everyone. So we manifest things, and it is our life, but don't make it all about you. There's other players in here, and that's kind of the test. In the end, it's all a house of cards anyways. Everything that we build on this planet is going to come down at some point. Some things faster than others. You don't know when your demise is. Heck, for all we know, all this anxiety that we're facing in this world is going to end. It could end really abruptly, just like that. And if you've been stressing out this whole time, and that stress becomes your livelihood or your mantra or your everyday thing, and then it's like there's nothing to stress out over, are you going to replace it? God, I give my mom a hard time about this. Worry. Stop worrying about that. Because, if it fixes, she'll figure out something else to worry about.
Right.
So stop. Don't worry about it. Just roll with it. You'll be fine. That's what I got, Dave.
Fantastic. That was really nice. Great. So here's my next question. And that is, how can we not carry the weight? It's just, I know we were discussing before how it's just so intense to be in the role that you and I are in. And I think it's true for many, many people. It's just like, you feel like you're carrying the weight of the community that you're doing is so essential and so important. And, it's just that, I'll get up in the morning, I'll watch a few videos, and I'm just like, oh my God, I gotta save the planet today. And it is too heavy. How can I and we, not carry so much weight?
It's funny you should ask that one. I work with this woman named Liz who channels a woman named Ruthie. And especially around the time that RBG passed away. Such an anxious time. And Ruthie's guidance was, again, the spirit that Liz channels, Ruthie's guidance was, we don't need you to carry the world, but if you would like to help with the load, that would be appreciated. So basically, it's not on you to carry the heaviest load possible all by yourself. You're part of a collective. So carry what you can bear. And sometimes you just need to take a break and put it down and rest. Are you familiar with how choirs might go, or when you have multiple people singing, they're carrying a note for a long time? What you're not realizing when you've had that many people is some people run out of breath sooner than others. So they drop out, catch their breath, and then jump back in the harmony again. But the note is held the whole time as people drop off and other people come back on.
Mhm.
That whole thing. It's that same way with the spiritual energy. You don't take on the weight of the world. And the other thing is, you can't. Your biggest influence is yourself, because everything comes from you. So if you're in a good mood, it radiates out in a good mood. If you're in a bad mood, it's going to radiate out that you're in a bad mood. If you've ever been with somebody who buries their anger, and you it's like you're around them and you're walking on eggshells and you don't know why. You can sense it. You can pick up on the fact that they're angry, and you think they're angry at you and you don't know why, and you're just kind of trepidatious around them. So your energy is important, the attitude that you bring. The other part is, again, you influence yourself and the people around you, but lesser influence outside of that. So focus on the people that you can actually change, and then those people can focus on the people that they can change, and that's how it spreads out. It's
Great.
not your job to carry the whole
All right. Thank you very much. So we spoke a little bit about toxic masculinity.
thing.
And I just was wondering if you'd like perhaps throw some cards on it or give your opinion on it. And, maybe where does that come from? And maybe even what could be done about it?
I could throw cards on it. I've got personal opinions on that too. I'm kind of curious to see what the cards say on that one.
Okay.
And I'll litter in my thoughts on that one as well. And the funny thing is, when you look at, like, again, when I started looking at readers, all the readers are women, or at least the vast majority are women. And there's a few guy readers out there. The two of wands just sort of popped out there. Yeah, there's not as many men, although I think more men are coming online here. And I think, to me, intuition is your ability to tap into the divine feminine. And if you look at the readers, like especially the male readers, most of them aren't these macho knuckle dragging dudes. They're warm-hearted, empathetic, caring type of men. And I think it's that ability to touch into your feminine side as a guy that allows you to open up and allow that intuition to come in. Let's see what I have to say on that one. Yeah, okay. So first off, we start off with the Four of Coins, the restriction card, the crown chakra, the heart chakra, and then you've got the feet underneath here. In order to be intuitive, you have to be able to open up. You have to let go. You can't be protective. You have to be open. If you're protective, that information isn't going to come in. It's going to come in and bounce right off because you're not open to it. If you're not open to it, you can't share it. Cross with the Six of Swords, moving to calmer shores. And I think that's another thing. It's hard to read when you're anxious. There is a state of a relaxed state you kind of have to be in order to do that. You think about how many readers or intuitives that you hear about that also meditate, or even folks that have gone through near-death experiences and it really opens up their spiritual gifts. A lot of them meditate because it gets them to that one source type of energy there. You need to be able to open up and calm down so that you can send out the message. You can ask the question, but then you got to calm everything down so you can hear the answer. That's the trick. Meditation isn't about asking the question. It's about allowing yourself to hear the answer. Underneath it is the Queen of Swords. I hate to say that either you got it or you don't, but if you don't open up, it's not going to work. If you can't calm down, it's not going to work. That's really what the Queen of Swords is saying. Is like, you can't fake it. You got to do it or not. It's just like the Nancy Pelosi card. You do it or you don't do it. There's no warm fuzzy middle ground on that one. That doesn't mean that if you can't calm down, you can't be an intuitive. It's just practice. The more you can calm down, the better you will be. But you've got to have some form of calm. In the past, the World card. I think, to me, it's like anybody in the world can do it. Oh, of course, the world's connected. It's synchronicity. Everybody in the world is connected. A butterfly's wings beating in China impacts the US stock market, type of thing. We're all connected as human beings all throughout the world. It's funny how Star Wars talks about the Force, and that's pretty much what intuition is. If you pop culture reference. Dave, what would a reading be without the drunken hillbilly brawl card? That is my trademark name for the Five of Wands. One of the things that it's hard for to get into that intuition, you have to, again, calming down. Daily life is so busy. There's so many things that have asked of you. You get into sensory overload, which is part of the reason why we're here. You know, you're here to experience things. You can't just be a Zen Buddha master, or you can be, but there's only so many of those that you really want in the world. If everybody was like that, nothing would get done. We'd all starve to death. So there's a lot going on that you're here to experience. But there's times when you just need to calm down and get out of the rat race. There we go. Overarching energy is the star. So to open up that intuition, you know, you gotta get your daily chores put to the side, and then take some time for yourself. Heal your mind, heal your body, heal your soul. You need downtime for that, because remember, this is about you in your spiritual journey on here. The lesson to be learned is also being able to look at things differently than how you might otherwise do it. And I'm chuckling because I'm starting to remember, I don't remember what the question is anymore. I'm just following the reading. I think when I read, I tend to channel. So I start following the story, and I've completely lost the thread of why we started this, but it's looking at things in a new perspective. We talk about empathy as a way to put yourself in somebody else's shoes. And the minute you can do that, or even intuition, the minute you can do that and see things from somebody else's perspective, it brings the anxiety down, because you can just say, I get it. I see why you think that way. And I never thought of it that way before. You know, you're in a car accident and you're in the hospital, and somebody asks, well, was that bad luck? Well, you don't know yet. Maybe that car accident prevented you from driving home that night, where there was a gas leak and your house blew up. You know, there's two tragedies in a row, but one of them might just have a broken leg. The other one would have been burned to death.
Right.
It's just, now, you might say, could I have not just had either one of those things? I would argue for that, but okay, my myopic view on life. In the end, Lover's card. It's about your connection with spirit. It's about your connection with other people. It's again, what is that intuition? It's just that connection, that worldwide connection, that feeling of love and joy. Now they'll say, again, NDEs. I'm really big into NDEs, by the way. I've done a lot of reading on that. They'll talk about, you know, the God is love. But I also think I've heard some say God is joy. And I like that even more, because when you're in a state of joy, you're in your highest vibration. You're just the happiest you can be. When I've had women I work with, when I do readings for some of my coworkers, usually one of the questions is going to be, am I going to meet somebody? And I don't even throw cards at that one. It's like, do what it is that you love doing best, whatever that is, because it's up to you. That's a very personal thing. Do all the things you love doing, because if you're doing the stuff you love doing, you're in your highest joy. And when you're throwing off that energy, two people will come to you: narcissistic energy vampires and really, really good people. And if you hang around them for more than a couple of days, the narcissistic energy vampires, they drain you and you don't want to be around them. And then the other people are the ones you want to hang around with. The vampires, they can't keep up. They can't make their own energy, or the ones that want it can't keep up, so they fall off. And then you're surrounded with good people. You might meet that one person because they like doing the same things you like doing. So now you're both doing the same things that you like. And then you build from there. Do you watch TikTok at all? Do you have a TikTok account?
Not much. I do have an account, but I put like one thing on it once.
One of the things I love doing sometimes at night before going to bed is I'll watch some videos and I'll heart them. And then when Michelle comes to bed, we'll watch the stuff I curated. for the two of us to watch. And there's one video of a guy, he's a Middle Eastern man at a wedding dancing, and dancing to the 70s song Rasputin. And all of a sudden, a woman comes out of the crowd to start dancing with him. And they're having such a great time dancing with each other. And the implication in the video is that they're not a couple before the dancing thing. But that's how you meet. He loves dancing. It's really clear he loves it. And she does it too. And they're playing off of each other. And it's just amazing to watch because it's like, oh, this is magical.
Yeah,
It would
wow.
be like two people who enjoy singing, and one person singing in public and the other person joins them. And then you've got that going on. And now they're both having that time together.
Aha. That sounds great. So one more question I want to ask is a little bit more practical, and that is we've all noticed like a lot of readers have gained weight, and it's just like since this has happened, I get this question from other readers. If that's not you, lucky you, but I certainly have put on some weight, and ever since the really since COVID, I just I packed it on. What can we do?
I don't have a good diet for you because I think I'm leading the charge as far as packing weight on. I've never weighed any more than I do currently, and I'm trying to take steps recently to just. It's like, you know what? Forget it. I did like a Whole30 diet for a few months back at the end of 2022. I lost a bunch of weight doing that, and all it really was a diet change. And I'm trying to do that again to get back on that. To me, it's really have to focus on what I'm putting into my body. If you want to honor yourself, you have to honor yourself by putting in healthy things if you want a healthy life coming out of it.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing is I'm a giant stress eater, especially with carbs, and what I could handle in my 20s, I cannot handle in my 50s.
Bingo. Yeah, that's super true, isn't it? Yeah, because I've been stress eating for since then too.
So now I wonder if I'm gonna get that four of coins again, because it's one of those things. For me, I'm very empathetic, and it's almost like the stress in society has when I stress out, I eat my carbs, and Lord knows it's been stressful for the last 8 years or so. And even after this election, we're not going to be out of it, and that sucks. So it's like I can't wait for the world to accommodate me. I have to take charge. I can't be the Eight of Swords. I have to take charge of it and start doing that. But let's do a little four-carder on this one. What can we do to help ourselves with treating ourselves more kindly? The Moon card. Thanks. The hardest one in the deck to translate. I guess, it's just one of those things that you don't know what's coming next. You don't know what's life is supposed to be unknown.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and I think even people who've gone through NDEs, and they talk about how they met their guides and the Council of 10 and talk about their life paths, they know that there are certain key moments that they're supposed to hit throughout their life. But how you get to those key moments is a mystery. That's just go live your life and you're going to figure this out. So in some ways, it's get okay not knowing the answer.
Hey.
Okay. You just got to get okay with not knowing the answer. And that can be really hard for somebody who might be a bit more of a control freak than others.
Yes.
Eight of Wands. Be careful what you're taking in message-wise. Facebook, YouTube, the news that you watch, because that's going to impact your mood and impact who you are. It's funny, when I do my videos, when I do a happy piece, they get no views compared to the stuff that causes anxiety. And it's not that prevents me from doing happy pieces. It's just that I understand people are more concerned about the stress of the unknown right now that's causing him the anxiety. And what I'm trying to do is bring that anxiety down. But you just got to get comfortable not knowing the answer. And one of the big sources that can cause that anxiety is the information that you're intaking. Just like the food you're bringing into your body, poisonous, toxic information will be just as bad for you as poisonous, toxic food.
Wonderful.
The Knight of Wands. How I love this card. It doesn't change overnight. It's a plan. I've lost weight a number of times where I've lost 40, 50 pounds. And the gals at work have asked me, how do you do it? It's like, oh, it's just really complicated. You're going to want to write this down. And it's like, okay, they're ready. It's like, eat less, exercise more, and give yourself time. And they look at me like, I don't want to do that. But it's true. It's, the stuff that you're eating, eat less of it. Just there'd be a lot less, but less of it. If you can eat healthier, get out and move around. And the hardest part is it just takes time. You can lose 3 pounds a month, and after 3 months you've lost 9 pounds. And for a lot of people, 9 pounds is like, yeah, big deal, so what? But in a year you've lost 36.
Right.
9 pounds doesn't seem that much, especially when you've been doing it for 3 months. It's like, that's all I lost was 9 pounds. Geez, all these other diets I can lose 20 pounds in 2 months, so why would I do this one? But you have to give yourself time. Over years time, 36 pounds for most people, that's it. That's all they need to lose. They're good to go. And so it's like, you just need time. Give yourself time. It's not a sprint, it's a marathon. Because not only that, you kind of have to do it for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
You just got to keep fighting. Sometimes you take a break and rest and gain. It's okay to indulge at Christmas and Thanksgiving and stuff like that. But once you've indulged in it, and even take cheat days on your diets. Because if you deny yourself, and again, because this anxiety is a real emotional component here. If you deny yourself, then you want to cheat, because it's like it's forbidden, it's taboo. So obviously it's sexier to do.
These are very stressful times, and your body, your psyche is going to ask for some resolution. And I do have to point out that we haven't really lived in a time where this much information is just coming at us. Our psyches are having difficulty taking it.
And the information is instantaneous. Think about that. How about how long it used to take for information to come out back when you and I were kids?
Yeah.
With newspapers, 7 o'clock to 6 o'clock news was maybe the closest you were going to get to information breaking. It would take days for it to happen.
Yeah. I just can't help but think of Seinfeld, how like every water cooler during Seinfeld, the next lunch was always Seinfeld talk. And it was like a sort of thing where it's like everybody had watched that show, but it took us at least 12 hours before we could talk about it with our colleagues and friends. So thanks so much. This was just great, David. I really appreciate those readings. They were excellent, and great to see you on YouTube.
Thank you very much. And I'm glad you reached out. It was David reached out to me. It was last night. I was going to bed and I got this message on Facebook. It's like, it's Dave Johnson. It's like, yes. And he said, well, that was fast.
Well, and of course you thought it was a bot. Somebody's going to ask me for money.
I leave it. I always leave open the option that it's like, okay, I'm hoping this is Dave Johnson. It could be a bot. I will just wait I'll see yes and see what happens. If he tells me to forward now $1,000 to his Telegram channel, it probably is a bot.
Yes, and that is announced to all of us. We will never ever ask you for money. No. So if somebody does, it's a scam.
Yeah, and that's kind of one of the things to be careful of with any channel. And for mine, I will not ask you for money. I work for a living. I make a really good salary. The last thing I want to do is rip people off. That's not my jam at all. And even for the folks like Linda G or Sterling or somebody like that who actually do have readings that they sell, they're not going to go hitting you up on Telegram or something like that. They've got websites. Go to the legit website.
Yeah, exactly. Terrific. David, once more, your website is Tarot by the Bay. And if they want to get hold of you, it's tarotbythebay@gmail.com.
That's correct. I do not currently have a website. I just have the YouTube and the Facebook page.
Terrific, David. Thanks so much.
Thank you very much, David. Appreciate it.
Take care, my friend.
Thank you.
Bye-bye, everyone.